Hi, this is Terry Lee, and this is supposed to be video 4, but it's actually video 3 in our series on notebook number 1. And what happened was video 3 went horribly wrong, and so what we're going to do is we're going to review what we did in video 3, or what I did apparently in video 3, and then we're going to move on to video 4. So what we did was we numbered all the sides, as you know I like to do, so that when I cut the papers out, if they get away from the project, then I know where they go. For example, this is an offcut, and I discovered it fit on top of an envelope somewhere else. So I went ahead and numbered it and then sat it to the side because we're not going to get to that one for a while. But so we numbered everything. Let me do a quick review. We've got here, and then here, and then here. This is the cover. This is top pocket. This, I had gone ahead and decided to not do this as a pocket, but then once I started covering things, I looked at it and I thought just ephemera on there I don't think is going to do it. So we're going to go ahead and paper this. So that's 4, this is 5, and it opens like this. And this is going to be 6. It's a top pocket. This is going to be 7. This is 8, 9. And then we're going to have to, we opened up these 2 envelopes. I did. And I undid the glue here on the bottom of this one and flipped it open. And what we did was we covered just this inside bit with a 1-inch wide by how many inches long? 3 7/8 inches long piece, and then that's going to be folded shut and glued, and then it's been cut for a side pocket. And now when you look in, you'll see the colored paper. Now this paper is not from the kit, but I thought it would look kind of cool inside there without using any of the kit papers, and it comes from a kit called Boho Pages, and I don't remember who it's by, so I will link it below, or actually across the bottom of the screen. You'll see it right now. Okay, so then this is page number 9, which is the back of this envelope, and it's going to be the top loading pocket. And so what we needed to do, I opened it up at the bottom and at the top, and I actually unglued it again because I had already glued it shut. I even did it again. And so we did the same thing across the top here. Yeah. Actually, that's backwards. These are 6.5 long. I knew that didn't look right. 1 inch wide by 6.5 long, and these are 1 inch wide by 3 7/8 inch long. And actually, when I closed it, I had measured from here, so this one ended up a little long, so I just trimmed it off. It's going to be closed and covered anyway, so I actually could have left it, but I didn't want to take a chance on anything catching when it went in there. And so that was all we had gotten done. Oh, let me show you the further numbering. So then this is 10, and then this opens 11, 12, close it back, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then 18 is the back. So number 1 is also the cover. All right. So the other thing that had happened was I had totally murdered this envelope cover. I don't know. I think I've got it right here. I cut the window wrong. And if I'd have thought about it, I would have just used it with this, which is what I ended up doing. This is a separate piece right here. I know it looks like it's supposed to go there. But, but instead I decided to flip it over and try again. And I got one that would have worked, right? I could have just covered it. But the thing is that the paper was crooked when I cut it. So then the whole piece had to be trashed. So there it is in the trash. So off camera, all I did was cut another piece, and then to make these little windows, you measure in how far it is to the edge of the window. Oh, the other problem I had is I didn't have a die cut the right size. This window actually goes up to here, I think, and is a little bit wider. But yeah, that's why I had to cover it with this, because you could see the bottom edge of the window that wasn't covered with the paper. So what I did was I measured in, not taking into account the edge of the envelope. That was part of my mistake. So I should have measured in, well, no, I measured in from the envelope, but I didn't take into account that the whole paper was going to be shifted over. That's what I meant to say. What is that hair? Oh, it's because I still have my fuzzy catchers on, otherwise known as my hand warmers. So then I just took a piece. Let me see if yeah. And of course I have all these offcuts. This is the rest of this. Okay, and I just picked a new backing paper. This is actually on the paper. And then I inked the heck out of it. I wanted it to look real kind of grungy, even though this isn't grunge. It's steampunk, but it might end up being more grunge than steampunk, because I've never done steampunk before, and I really don't have enough images, and I don't have any of the little metal pieces. So we're just going to have to go along and see how things turn out. Now, the kit that I decided to use is called Steampunk, and it's by Victoria Design. It's really cool. This is a copy of the I don't know if it's the front page or the back page. I had to print out some more. It's a copy of the back page. And so anyway, these papers are really cool. So we'll have some fun putting them on the inside. We'll use these on the areas where we're going to put a notebook or something on top. Okay. So that's Victoria Design, not Victoria. It's Vectoria. So that's that. And let me make sure. Ink and paper. Oh yeah, make sure to ink everything before you glue anything down. And you're going to have fun going through and inking everything. Now, I know I had originally said I wasn't going to ink this, but I made a mistake when I was inking this envelope. I forgot to put my manila envelope guard underneath, and I accidentally inked here. So I had to go ahead and ink, and I inked everywhere. And I'm using Tim Holtz's tea dye, which is made by Ranger. And I like this color on the manila envelope. I don't like the antique photo because it's too dark, and I thought it made it look dirty. So I discovered through my mistake that the tea dye is enough of a lighter color, and it's a different hue, that it doesn't make it look dirty. It just makes it look kind of funky. So I like that. Okay, so now we're caught up. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to do the cover. We're going to do number 2. Oh, I'm sorry. We had opened up this envelope. It's already glued really well, so I can't do it. We opened up the envelope and put the picture inside. And then we're gluing it in half so that when we put something down inside, it doesn't hit the picture. So we're making the top pocket. So up here is a pocket. But it's only going to go down to here. So we had opened it up, put the picture in, glued this down instead of just gluing this back together so that the pocket went all the way down. We glued this down, and then we glued this one to the actual paper here, and then we glued this down as well across here. Okay, now we're caught up. I'm sorry about throwing all that in that you didn't see, but we're going to be doing similar things on other envelopes. Believe me, there are plenty of envelopes in this one, but I just wanted you to know why this looked like this. Jumping from video 2 to video 3, because this is actually video 4. So now that I spent 10 minutes doing that, we are going to do the cover. So we're going to cut the paper to the height of the... Are we doing the cover first? Yes. Oh, we're going to cut it the same height as envelope number 2 and have the paper go straight across. That will leave us the tab. And then the width of it is going to be 4 5/8. So this is the cover piece. Now I want to show you, I don't know, see if I can find something white. When I cut this paper out, I inked the edges. Let's see if I can hold it up. I inked the edges heavily, and then I laid it down flat, and I did with the ink dauber, I did one of these numbers around the edge as well, and that defined it even more. Okay, so, okay, I can't remember what movie that's from. Then I labeled it because I wanted this big ship to be right here. Airship. I didn't want it up here because we're probably going to put something up here. I've got a nameplate, and we'll probably put a couple other things. And so I wanted to be able to see the airship. It does have a little bolt drawn here that there isn't one on the other 4 corners. So we may put something on this corner that either covers it up, or we'll leave it with 1 bolt and just say all these other ones, you know, show that everything isn't even. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue this down. Let's hold our breath. There are no mistakes or problems. If I have any more mistakes or problems, this is going to go back to being proto and not real. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this went from proto to real. I don't remember if I said that in video 2 or video 3. So we're going to put our smear in the corner. I'm going to go down and smear the corner. We do still want to make sure we have enough glue to hold it down. The reason you can hear it is because I'm holding the tip of the glue bottle, which is a Sweet Sugar Bell frosting dispensing bottle. And the reason I use this, as you can see, is I can squeeze it. The Fabrifix and the Fabri-Tac bottles are very, very hard to squeeze. And I find it very difficult with my hands. I have some issues with my hands that I can't squeeze the bottle. All right, so we've got the top is the top. We want to line it up here. When I cut it, I left a little bit when I measured it so that the edge would show all the way around. And I'm calling this the cover even though it's going to be covered. But this is still technically going to be the cover because when you open it up. Now in this pocket here, we're just going to glue. Here, we're going to make a bead of glue across. That will cut the rest of that. That'll close the rest of that pocket off. Here on the top, we don't want to glue this shut because that's part of our pocket. So we're just going to glue along the edge, around the bottom, glue it, and we are going to glue the top because we're going to trim it with a pair of scissors and then re-ink it. So that way the paper is inked on the end once we've cut it off. There's no sense in not gluing it and trying to do it all together. It's just crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the top at the top. I looked at the picture, decided I really like that moth right side up. And I've got a picture of a blue butterfly, and I may put that on this page too, somewhere by the moth. Remember, we're going to be putting pockets and stuff too. Probably more decoration on these two. I really like this bicycle guy too. Anyway, so we're going to glue this. Actually, let's put our bead of glue across here so we don't forget. In fact, let's glue, yeah, we'll glue the envelope here. Across. Well, we didn't have to go all the way across, I guess. And then we'll glue the paper instead of the envelope. So we're going to go straight down and glue the corner. I know you can't see this, but I have to hold it where I can reach it. I moved the camera again, so hopefully it's a little more straight down. Okay, so we're going to glue this on here. I'm going to line this up first. Remember, there's glue across the middle. So I want to line this all up first. I'm going to lay the side down. And then we're going to lay this down like that. Now you're going to see this right here. There's nothing really I can do about it. I can move it over just a little bit maybe. Minimize the amount that we see, because this has all been dyed, but we don't want to make it to where we can't open and close it. Okay, so we've got that covered, and we've got the front covered. So now we can trim that little bit off the top. And all you need is a sliver. And remember, we've already covered the inside top of this, so that when you trim it, you'll be able to see. I'm going to have to go back and glue that a little better. I got a little bit away from the edge, I guess. Okay, I'm going to have to do this way, and I'm going to have to hold it this way, so you may not be able to see, but I'm just cutting a sliver. Off the end. Okay. Not the straightest in the world, but it was getting very difficult to cut all the way to there. Oh, actually on this one I didn't cover the inside because I thought the pattern was fine. It looked kind of metallic. And let's fix this little corner here. And now we're going to have to re-ink the end. Yeah, you can see where it's kind of crooked on this side. I may go back and trim it going this way and see if I can get it a little better, because the envelope kind of comes away right there. Okay, now, I don't know why I just did that, because we are going to need to cut a thumb hole. This is going to be interesting. There's quite a bit of paper here. So this is a 1.5. There are marks on the sides of these. Usually I take a Sharpie and mark them, and there's a center mark. There should be, but there's not. I guess if you line that one up and line that one up, you've got it straight to make this thumb hole. But now that I look at it, that looks rather large. I think I'll go back to the 1 inch. I know they're cute, aren't they? They look like little irons. Now this one I did mark the center. It had a little arrow for the center. And I'm going to do both sides. So there's a thumb hole on either side. Sometimes you do just, you know, you slide this inside and you just put a thumb hole on one side. No, should I do that? Sorry about my head being in the camera. I've got to get it all lined up. Kind of don't want to put a hole. I don't want to put a hole in the other side's picture. Let's just go ahead and do this one on this side. I made an executive decision at the last second. There we go. Now we got a thumb hole, and you can kind of see that. But I really am going to ink it though, which I should have done before I did this. And I am now kind of wishing I had covered it. I forgot about the thumb hole. There's an envelope under there. I gotta make sure not to inking mistakes again. That's better. It looks alright now that it's all okay. Yeah, see, it looks like it's metal. Okay. Yeah, I really should have done this when it was open. I don't know why I didn't think of it. We're not going to talk about things I didn't think of. Okay. Now, on 4 and 5, we should be fine. Actually, I don't think I cut the papers for those. I cut the paper for... I cut the paper for those two. I didn't cut the paper for 4 and 5. Okay, let me put you on hold and we'll make papers for 4 and 5. Okay, I wanted to come back for just a second before I cut the papers because I wanted to talk to you for a second about picking the papers for the envelope page, quote unquote pages. Now I've got all of these really cool images that I can pick from in here. Okay, now I could have gone with something like this and put it here and had the, which is still cool, you know, and and I could have done this, but I think that's too plain against that. I think you need some kind of color. And then these are the bigger plain ones for our back. Okay, we could have used this. It would have been kind of cool because the guy is right there. Could use that. And then you have to lay it down on the, keep that out. And remember, you're going to have the offcuts as well. And so I want to show you real quick. This is the one for the thing. These are some of the fussy cuts that I've cut out already. Okay, this one isn't completely cut out because I want to put it possibly in a window and I want to make sure I've got a way to glue it. These are the centers of where I tried to cut the window. So we save those, especially this one. It looks like rivets around there. So we save those. And then I have these really cool pieces here. So we have to think about where we can use those. Look at this long one with the green. And it's got the rivets on either end. So we could cut this in half and use it for, I don't know what, but we could think of something to use it for. I know we can. And then we've got these larger pieces, and look at all the pictures on there. We could fussy cut things out. We can use these to make pockets. This is definitely going to go up there. And so I just wanted to make sure that you thought about that when you're cutting your papers. The other thing is you want to think about what the end result is going to be. And I just put the paper I was going to use back over here. Okay, so what I want to do, this envelope here is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. The 5 1/2 goes this way. So if I use this whole image right here, once you cut the white off, this whole image right here will fit right on that envelope. The top of the envelope is right above the wing. Then for the other side, since this is the 4 1/2, we may have enough to do something with the other side. If not, we can use it on another smaller envelope, or we should be able to fussy cut this out and put it somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to put you back on hold real quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish cutting this out. Now, in order to get this picture on here, what I'm going to do is I am going to put this paper here, and instead of using a ruler, I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm going to mark. Let's see, let's make sure I've got it straight. And I'm going to mark right here. I want a little bit of a gap. So I'm going to measure right there. And then I'm going to measure right here. And now we're going to cut the vertical cut first so that we don't cut through that, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to find our mark. Oops, and I almost did it, didn't I? No, that's what we want to do. So we want to cut it so that this is the offcut. Having so much fun this morning. And then now we want to cut the top off. You can always print out another one. If you're on the instant ink program, which you should be on, if you have an HP printer, you just pay X amount per month. They send you as much ink as you can use, and then you print up to X number of pages. Now, I wish I'd have made that a little bit wider, but I think it's going to be fine. See, and then you've got that notebook there, and you've got the blue butterfly. So we're going to ink that up. I know, inking is so much fun to watch on camera, but I wanted to show you that I didn't measure it on the cutter or the paper trimmer. I love that noise when you get to the corner. I'm going to hold it so you don't listen to it. So I'm doing the edges. Excuse me. I'm doing the edges to make it not white. And then I'm going to come back. And this will ink the edge a little bit. But this makes it not white. I think I started with the top. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to kind of go like this around the edges. And that makes the edge a little more defined as well. Plus it comes up on the paper a little bit too. Now you don't want to go like that. You just want to get it a little bit on the paper along the edge. You can see the difference. Do you see this here versus this over here? Okay. And then when you get the corner good. I need a new inker because this is actually a combination of tea dye and antique photo probably. And I've got brushes as well. This is for tea dye. But I find on these darker items, it's really hard to get the color to show. I have trouble with the brushes. These smaller ones are better because the bristles are a little more stiff. I find when you buy a kit, usually there's 5 big ones and 5 little ones. I find I have difficulty with these bigger ones getting any definition on the edge. So I mainly use them just for larger areas that I want to do. And let's see if I can do this without cutting the light off. And I do have a few. One for every ink color. And yes, they're all labeled. They're all labeled. You guys probably get a good laugh out of me, don't you? Okay. Anyway, I'm making a big mess. So now when we glue this down, we're going to make a side pocket from here. So we don't want to glue this shut, or the pocket will only go to here. So what we want to do is we want to run the glue along here. So we're going to glue the paper and not the envelope. This is really bad. Make sure it's right side up. And then we'll put the paper on. And we have no glue in the center, otherwise we would glue our pocket shut. Now this one we don't have to worry about taking it apart and inking inside or doing anything inside because it's coffee dyed. That looks pretty cool. I like that. I can go with that. And then we'll do the same on the other side. This video is getting a little long, so I'll do the other side and then we'll come back and we'll start working on the rest of this. Okay, so that's the end of video 3, really 3 new because 3 old didn't work. Anyway,